I've got a fun little project for us today, and that is installing this new pitch stop mount that is solid metal and has polyurethane bushings. With just over 170,000 miles on the car now, the drivetrain's getting a little sloppy, so that's my goal this year, is to clean it up. To get to the pitch stop mount, we're going to have to come back behind the intercooler. And so to remove the intercooler, there's actually kind of two different ways you can approach this. The method I'm going to take today is to take off this bolt. Those are both 12 millimeter. That will be for the intercooler, holding it mounted in place. And then you've got these two 12 millimeters to take off your bypass valve. A screw here for the coupler to the throttle body. And then you have this screw here to take off this clamp, and that pipe is connected to the intercooler, and that's being fed by the turbocharger. Lastly, you've got 3 screws here. Those are all 10 millimeter, and that will get your intercooler off. The other method, like I mentioned, is to leave those 3 screws on, and you can loosen this connection, pop this hose off, and pop this hose off, and then you can actually take off these black pipes with the intercooler. However, the rubber hoses on my car are pretty stiff from age, and they're quite difficult to get on and off. Now that I've got the bolts off, we can yank this intercooler loose, and it is usually pretty tough, so I like to wear gloves and just kind of wiggle it free until it pops loose. And just take note to be careful of the gasket here for your bypass valve. A lot of people are probably going to say you should replace that every time you take the intercooler off, but I've had this off probably 8 to 10 times and never replaced it, and I've not seen a drop in boost pressure. Okay, there, it's free, so we're going to set that aside. And now we can see clearly back in here. Here's our old pitch stop mount, and I'm going to shove a rag in my throttle body real quick just so we don't get any debris in there. Okay, now that the rag is in there, it looks like we have like a ground cable right here in the way of the bolt that's going down to the transmission. So I'm going to remove that first, and then it looks like we've got 14 millimeter here, and then 14 millimeter here as well. So I'll go ahead and remove that. This is how we get tough jobs done, right here. Nothing says no to the oversized breaker bar. There we go. Okay. And that's off, and the transmission's already supported by the engine and the lower mount, so you can just pull this off. There's no tension on it. It's loose, comes right out. And while we're looking down here, this is a great time to show you why exactly I needed to wrap the catalytic converter on the downpipe. And if you can see this, the wrap is actually like contacting the boot, the axle boot. So yeah, we didn't want to burn that up. Still makes me a little nervous, but okay. As we inspect this old mount, this pitch stop mount, I'm actually seeing there's a crack here. There's a crack here on the other side, and overall this thing's pretty worn. I mean, I can actually move this with my hand, and I mean, when you consider 7,000 RPMs, full throttle, this isn't hardly doing much compared to this guy, which is completely solid compared to the old one, and I mean much thicker, this is going to do the job way better. I can't wait to try this out. Okay, just had a little bit of difficulty here with the fitment of this end, but I remedied that by just putting this pry bar in here and bending the mount outward. It was just a little bit wider than the stock one, no big deal. As we bolt this back together, it's going to suck those two sides together anyway, so it won't matter at all. Don't forget to secure your ground cable again when you're finished. And just like that, the pitch stop mount is installed. Yeah, I really like the black color with the red bushings. It's really cool. It looks like it should have come that way from the factory. I'll spare you the details of watching me put the intercooler back on. And now with everything back in place, it is time for a test drive. Well, I've been driving around with this installed for a few days now, and it's been pretty good. I can notice a few changes. A couple of the changes I've noticed have been a kind of a smoother response out of the engine. Another change that I've noticed has been that it seems a little bit stiffer. It's hard to tell if it is just tricking my mind or not, but I do believe that you know, there's only so much you can tell out here on the roads without being on a course. But yeah, I do think that I can notice a difference now. And it's a good thing I replaced it, because the old one was pretty bad, and well, like you saw, it was cracked and pretty worn out. I'll place a link to the one I bought down in the description. If you have any questions about it, feel free to leave me a comment and I'll try to get back to you when I can. If you found this video helpful in any way, please leave a like. That'll help me out as I grow my channel. I would really appreciate it.